There we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to our weekly fantasy podcast with apparently the return of Tom Brady that we're very excited about. Let's give a shout out to my co-host, Mr. Improv Pete.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing today?
Oh, amazing! I can't wait to talk football with you today.
I'm
I'm
saying we
I'm ready
missed you
for this
last week.
insight.
We
I'm
missed you
ready.
last week.
Yes. Thank you, Matt, for covering for me. So, where you want to start? I know you need me to carry the load today, but I
Well,
want to
we
know where
just
you want
need
to start.
to. Well, I figured what we would do a little bit is talk about week 3, talk about some big moments, some not so big moments, games that stood out. Obviously, I was not able, as you know, to not watch football. I was too busy buying a dagger from the Renaissance Fair because that
Yeah,
was a thing.
the priorities here.
Priorities indeed. You gotta enjoy moments while you can. So I figure what we'll do is you can give your little synopsis about week 3. We'll get into week 4 fantasy, what we think, what big games to check out. And of course, you see the Brady returns because I have a question. It's an obvious question, but I do want to touch base because I really do feel like it could be 50-50 here.
Well, we'll get into that when we get into week 4, unless it's a week 3 question. Then,
No, week 4, week 4.
all right. So go ahead. You want to pull up the scores? You got the scores?
Oh, I always got the scores. The scores are right there.
That's
So
for
now
week 4, though.
do remember that the home teams are all in caps.
Correct. I'll
So you
bring
want to
up the
start
week
with
3
week 4
scores.
and then we'll get back to week 3? What do you want to do, sir?
Well, let's start with with week 3. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
Week 4 looks good, though. A lot of stuff to talk about, guys. Good.
Yeah, there
It'll be
certainly
a
will be.
a lot of good games. My goodness.
Hopefully. Every time we think there's good games, they never are. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in order from this. The Thursday night game was the Panthers Texans. That is the one game of the week I believe you did watch.
I did. Let me say something. The Panthers. Who would have thunk it, man? Just
Yeah,
needed Sam to get out of New York, I guess.
apparently. I mean, they're running away with that division already. Bucks can't hang with them. We know the Saints can't.
They needed
Falcons
no
are
good
what they
old
are.
Atlanta.
So, obviously, the big news from that game was Christian McCaffrey.
So now he's out for a couple of weeks now from
Mm-hmm.
reports. So
Yep.
that's going to be a big blow to fantasy players.
There's a good possibility. I mean, it might be a boost to their receivers. We'll find out. We're
Definitely,
just going to
definitely.
chug along. All right. Next game was the Bills Redskins. Turned out to be a blowout. It was close at halftime, and then Josh Allen just went off. There's not much else to say about that. Washington's defense is not what they were the year before. Josh Allen probably is who everybody thought he was.
I believe over 30 points in fantasy.
Oh, easily. He had 4 passing touchdowns and another rushing. So easily. Next game was a train wreck as well. Browns Bears. It's the Bears offense. I forgot the number. It was a real low number, but their offense wasn't even there last week. It was embarrassing. Browns stomped all over them. Odell Beckham did return though. Decent debut, 5 for 77.
Hey,
Running backs dominated that game though for the Browns. Here we go. Here was a good one. Ravens Lions. Obviously, you didn't watch the games, but something big happened in that game. Did you at least see that?
this was the Lamar throw, correct?
No.
No, that was week 2. No, I didn't see what happened. Tell me.
This was Justin Tucker making a 66-yard
Oh,
field goal.
yep. Yep.
The Lions did what the Lions do and lose in the last second to a 66-yard record-setting field goal.
And that's in game-winning field goals, correct?
Yeah, yes, that was a game-winning field goal. The only thing I want to go about in that game was, and I'll talk about it more later possibly, the Ravens have the running back who's tied for the league lead in yards per carry per running back, and he got, I believe it was 1 carry last week. So I need somebody to explain that to me later on. Just
When
don't
they
understand
faced
that. I get it, you got
who
Lamar
did
Jackson, but oof. All right. Next up, we got Colts and Titans. wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Carson Wentz can't be protected. He gets hit 40 times a game, leads the league, and I believe in getting sacked already. And you know what the Titans are: Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry. Titans won that 25-16. Like I said, no surprise there. Not like I said, not a ton to talk about in that game. Ryan Tannehill was much better if you want to go that route, but other than that, it's the same old Carson Wentz getting hit every play. And then here's your real shocker of the day: Chargers beat the Chiefs 30-24.
You're surprised by that.
Justin Herbert's proven he's legit from last year, so good on him.
Okay.
Mike Williams is going off. He's becoming a very, very relevant fantasy receiver. To me, he already was. I didn't know why he was so far down. Like, I drafted him in the 9th round, I think, which shouldn't be. The Chiefs, Mahomes had a couple bad interceptions, which really cost them. Chiefs are 1-2, 3 weeks in. So that's a little bit shocking. I don't even want to talk about this game. This is embarrassing. Saints Patriots, not pretty.
I know. I knew it was in Brady and sketched out a win for the Saints. So let's
Mac
go.
Jones threw 3 picks. I mean, his yardage, he threw the ball 51 times. You know, he's not Tom Brady, obviously. The Saints offense was not great in that game either. Even though it says they won 28-13, they had a pick 6. You know, and the Saints causing turnovers really helped them out in that game. Winston was obviously better than the week before, but Winston, you know, wasn't anything spectacular. Kamara wasn't really anything spectacular. He's only averaging 3.4 yards a carry, so that's a little concerning for Saint fans. We'll get into that later on.
Absolutely.
And then this battle of who wants to be the second worst team in football. Falcons beat the Giants 17-14. We're from this area, so a lot of the talk this week's been about the Giants coach being scared to go for it on 4th down. He said there's no fear involved. It's flow of the game, blah, blah, blah. It seemed like they were – I mean, maybe they were putting it on their defense to go win them a game, but this isn't Strahan and Tuck and all those guys. This is 2021 Giants. They ended up losing that game right at the end. So somehow the Falcons beat somebody this season. Good on them. It's not a pretty game no matter what. This one, some people may call it a shocker. Other people, maybe not, because the two teams, you know, there's name value and there's not name value, but one team's going the right direction, the other's not. The Bengals, I want to say smacked around the Steelers because they did for the most part. 24-10. The score doesn't show it, but the Steelers' offense is rough.
Is Big Ben done? Is he not the Big Ben of yesterday?
He threw 58 times in that game. That's not Steeler football. You know, okay, Nadia Harris, the rookie running back, had 102 yards receiving, not rushing, receiving. They need to figure something out. They can't block to protect Ben. Ben shouldn't be throwing the ball 58 times a game. Their young running back has no lanes to run the ball. So whether Ben is done or not, you know, that's up for debate. The team is probably holding him down. He has plenty of weapons on offense, but when the O-line can't protect, that's what happens. The Bengals are definitely heading in the right direction. They have plenty of offense, and now they've built a form of a defense. They're getting there. They're a team that seems to be on a rise. And then we got this train wreck, Cardinals and Jaguars. And I say it just because another young quarterback struggling. Jaguars offense, not great. James Robinson was good. But, you know, the Jaguars scored 19 points, and 6 of the 19 was on a missed kick that they returned for a touchdown. So, again, you're not seeing a lot of this Jaguars offense, which needs to keep them in the games because their defense is lacking. And here's your boy Kyler Murray. Not great in that game, but he didn't need to be. Don't just spam calling me in the middle of the thing. We're just gonna pretend like that's not happening. They know when to call.
We take this moment to thank our sponsors. Anybody who wants to sponsor, we proudly will bring you on. We've definitely week 3 seemed like an interesting week of football. If you haven't caught on already,
game fuel. Anybody wants to give us some love, alcohol, all things. There's nothing to even talk about in the Jets game.
I was waiting. I
don't even know if they showed up. I feel like it was like one of those games you just forfeit so the other team gets X amount of points. They legitimately did not score on offense. No, they didn't score on defense either, but they didn't score. They look like garbage. There's a lot of injuries, but that's not an excuse. You got to score in a professional football game. I don't care what team you are. You're not playing John Elway's Denver Broncos. You're playing Teddy Bridgewater's Denver Broncos. Now this was probably my favorite game of the day because it was so back and forth. Dolphins, Raiders. The Raiders won in overtime by 3. So you'd say, okay, that makes sense. But we'll start backwards. Both teams kicked a field goal in overtime, and then the Raiders ended up kicking a second field goal in overtime, which I can't remember the last time that happened. So let's start now, and we'll go back to the beginning of this game. Dolphins were up 14-0. And then the Raiders safetied them to make it 14-2. Then they kicked a field goal. It was 14-5. Like, when do you ever see those numbers in football? 14-2 and then 14-5. And then all of a sudden, the Raiders were up, and it looked like they were going to cover the spread. They were going to be good to go. And here come the Dolphins flying right back. They tie it, get the 2-point. Well, they score. They get the 2-point conversion to tie it. Then, like I said, you had that wild overtime. Peyton Barber looked pretty good in that game. Derek Carr's been very good to start. Dolphins, without Tua, put up 28 points. So that's just something right there that they still got the talent. Again, I know you don't watch any games, but you got Rams-Bucks here, and the Rams win by 10. Tom Brady threw for 432 yards, but lost to Matt Stafford, who I've been hyping all preseason, all everything. Is this Rams team the best team in the NFC? I know you didn't see the game, but you can just look at it. They literally beat the defending Super Bowl champs. Are they the best team undefeated in the NFC? The Rams are still undefeated, correct. And they didn't have their starting running back, and they still beat the Bucs. So Matt Stafford was real good that game. Sony Michel was pretty good. Not great, but, he's a backup for a reason. Sean Jackson had a big game. I don't know. He got wide open on a play. I don't know what the Bucs defense was doing. It was bad enough that they signed Richard Sherman. So
I saw that this week. I was going to discuss that a little bit with you. Do you think that was a panic move because of how the Rams performed?
I'm not sure if it was a panic move, but it's definitely a move that needed to be made as seen by that play and overall their defense in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And we got one more 4 o'clock game, and we get the last 2, and then we'll move on. Viking Seahawks. Bit of a shocker here. Vikings, granted it was in Minnesota, beat the Seahawks 30-17. No Dalvin Cook. Still beat the Seahawks. Kirk Cousins had a legit game, 30-38, 3 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson's been doing what he's been doing. You are someone who's very high on Russell Wilson. I know you didn't see the game, but how does this happen? Next, we got Packers 49ers. I'm sure you heard about it at least. Packers win by 2. They left Aaron Rodgers, I believe it's 37 seconds left on the clock. And he did what all great quarterbacks did. He drove them down the field and won that game.
And he got the kick. I saw his reaction. That was all over social media.
Yeah, of course. Rodgers was good. Devontae Adams was really good. Aaron Jones did what he does.
But it's like I said to you from week 2, and I said this to Matt last week on the show. I said, yeah, everybody was hyping on Aaron Jones, saying, look at that 4 touchdown game. I was like, just wait. Devontae Adams could come out and have a great game, and I believe he put up 17, 18 points in my fantasy team.
Oh, he had to put up more than that. But Aaron Jones did his job too. He scored
Yep.
82 yards and touchdown.
But there's a lot there's some mouths that you have to be fed there, and the same thing with the Bucks. But don't a lot of mouths there on. Look at Valdez. I think he caught two touchdowns too as well, right?
He couldn't add more because Adams had one, so he might have had one. But I'm just going to chime on the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk showed up for the first time this year, which is a good sign for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking a peek, the 49ers. Valdez had 3 for 59 and a touchdown. But it was all Adams. He had 18 targets in that game. I mean, if he's going to get volume like that, there's nobody touching him at receiver.
This just in. Keenan Allen has changed from healthy to questionable.
Well, I don't know. Good. More Mike Williams for me. And last but not least, the Monday night game, Eagles-Cowboys. I know somebody's very high in Jalen Hurts. He crushed Atlanta week 1. Hasn't been great since then. I mean, he had to throw a lot this week, so fantasy-wise, he looked good, but not really getting it done for the Eagles. The Cowboys offense rolling. Zeke had 2 touchdowns. Tight end had 2 touchdowns.
I would like to see Zeke is becoming the Zeke that we remember. A couple rough few weeks, but now he's starting to, he put on a performance, I would like to say. Better than Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's definitely given. Both running backs for Dallas average over 5.5 yards to carry that game, which is big.
Mm-hmm.
Spread the ball around, that 4 guys with 3 catches or more. So good on them and not being, reliant on one facet of the game.
Agreed.
Like I said, Jalen Hurts is not. He threw 2 picks. He got sacked a few times. And they said, I believe it was like a modern day record. They had 3 rushes from running backs in that game. Miles Sanders had 2 and Gainwell had 1. It's not a good formula for success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right, moving on. So let's touch on week 4. I got a little something here. So I'm gonna wish you good luck in week 4 because we're playing each other twice this week.
Oh, what do we got each other in?
ESPN in my league.
Yeah, best of luck, sir.
So I'll give you some good luck. We're each projected to win 1, but both close matchups. So
I would expect nothing less.
Exactly. So
definitely going to be something to have a good podcast for next week. So you got to make sure you stop by.
Where do you want to start with? You want to start with these games? You want to talk about Brady? You want to do the games, then talk Brady? What do you want to do?
That's what I figure. I think we'll go through week 4. And then as obviously the 8 o'clock game on Sunday, we'll go a little not U-turning, but we'll veer off to the right, talk about Brady for a second, then come back to the Monday Raiders-Chargers game because I do want to talk about that as well. So I think that could be a big game, but we'll get there. So let's start with Thursday. We got Bengals-Jaguars. Now, Bengals, I think not a lot of people are giving love to the Bengals. And Bengals
are not.
I think this could be
the experts are starting to. The experts are starting to give them a little love. I watched NFL Network for about 2 hours today, and they were calling them the real cats now, stuff like that. So
that's tonight's game, of course. So we think. Yep. I feel like it will be about a touchdown difference, maybe 10 points.
Roughly. Okay, well, you do have guys between leagues on the Jaguars. Are they going to do anything tonight? Are you playing them?
That depends.
Enlighten me here.
Who knows? I might not play them. Who knows?
Oh, I would be scared too.
Mind games are coming in.
You got Robinson, you got Chark. So you got 2 of their better players.
I will be playing Robinson, yes, but we'll see who else makes the cut.
All I have is T. Higgins, who's out again. So, I'm not going to worry about that game. I do think the Bengals will win. I don't know if we're picking with the spread. For my pool, I am. But for this game, the Bengals will win. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do we have to talk about this disaster?
Saints Giants.
I'm going to tell you right now, this is a trap game. Daniel Jones can certainly keep the Giants in this game. And Jameis Winston can certainly keep the Giants in this game. So, explain to me why the Saints are going to win by 8 with Alvin Kamara averaging 3.4 yards per carry. Is it Michael Thomas? Oh, wait, he's hurt. Is it Callaway?
Had no
He finally
production.
caught a touchdown. So,
That he did.
what is leading the Saints to win this game by 8 or more points?
It honestly depends on which Jameis shows up. Do we have the famous Jameis of week 1 against the Packers where he was just looking exceptional? Or the last 2 weeks? Now, mind you, the Packers are a good team. Arguments can be made that obviously the Panthers week 2 was a tough game. And then last week with New England, not really the best right now. So you have Giants who aren't great at all. They have no wins this week. Atlanta beat them. So why the fuck can't the Saints beat them? That's what I ask you.
Well, let's give it logic. They played the Packers, they played the Patriots, and they played the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers should be the best team out of them, and he had his best game.
Yep.
The Patriots should be debatably the worst team out of them. He played all right, and then obviously the other game, the Panther game, was not very good at all. I do believe I had some questions on my thing. I'm charging my phone, so I will get up and check that when we get to the end of the thing about players to play. But we're gonna keep trucking. Me getting a text just reminded me of that. But go ahead.
All right, we'll
You think the Saints? You're thinking the Saints cover?
I do. I think that
Okay.
he's coming off a rough game, and I think the Giants not really. Yes, Daniel Jones can keep them in. I have no doubt. You have great receivers on that team, and you have Saquon. Obviously,
Well, that was going to be my other question:
are the Saints
when
going to
it's
stop
not a
Saquon
league where we're
Barkley?
playing, are you playing Saquon this week? He was better last week. Is the Saints D
You
good
have
enough to shut him down?
I think you have to play Saquon, especially against the Saints. Our defense is not what it is. Is not pretty. I mean, Cam Jordan can't do every fucking thing. But I feel like this is definitely a trap game because either team really could put up the numbers.
I think the Giants are going to cover this game, but the Saints should win. I think the Giants will cover.
Next up, we have good old Jets at home versus the Tennessee Titans.
If anybody wants to lose money, pick the Jets easily.
Do you think King Henry will have a game?
Of course. What stands out to me is that the over-under is 45.5. That means the Titans need to score 46 points to cover this. I'm just saying. The Jets offense, legitimately cannot score a point. They have 20 points this season in 3 games. That's less than a touchdown a game. Well, a touchdown and the extra point.
Yep, I get you.
So we're at 20 points through 3 games. So if you're going off that average, they score 6, which then means that the Titans offense needs to score 40 to cover the over-under. Could that happen? Probably, which is the sad part. But if you want a fairly safe bet, it's the Titans covering and it's the under, unless because I'm going to give you a little insight, buddy. Even though we're playing each other, Julio Jones probably ain't playing this week. Neither is AJ Brown.
I've seen that. That's why I said, do you think King Henry will have a game?
Oh, he would have had a game whether they were playing or not because the Jets wouldn't be able to stop him. They can't tackle, among other things. So no matter what, Henry was going to have a game. It's just, do they even bother to throw the ball? I guess is the real question because they have their top 2 receivers are out.
That's fair.
I just don't understand how this is only 7.5 point spread and the Bills game's a 17 point spread. I feel like the Jets should be 17 also. But anyway, moving along.
Washington, Atlanta. Atlanta is home.
Okay. And dogged I'm air quoting dog. So they get 3 points. So realistically, Washington's favored by 4.5. What Washington's showing up? They showed up for the first half last week and then
Fell apart.
got blown out by the Bills. So we've seen their defense hasn't stopped much, even with Chase Young. So I don't know. I would love to think that Washington with Gibson and McLaurin should be able to blow the Falcons out of the water. But
We have a question here, Joe. I apologize for the delay, but from Noah we have: would Calvin Ridley and AJ Brown for Tyree and Josh Allen be a good trade in a PPR?
if you need a quarterback, absolutely. Even if you don't need a quarterback, absolutely, because AJ Brown's banged up. So I'm thinking that if you have those two receivers and you're taking back Hill, I mean, also depends on what side you are. I would want the Hill and Allen side.
Yeah, absolutely. You want the Hill and Allen side. If you
It's
have
very-
Calvin Ridley and AJ Brown and you want to get rid of them, by God, Noah, you get rid of them. So let us know which side of the trade you're on.
I mean, I love AJ Brown, but I just can't trust Calvin Ridley with that Falcons offense. They can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball.
And how are you going to throw away the number 2 quarterback in fantasy, arguably becoming the number 1 quarterback, and then Hill, who puts up at least double.
He's still putting up numbers. Game. He's had a little bit of fumbling issues the last couple of weeks, but he's still going to. And the Chiefs' offense is going to put up numbers. And the more Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbles, the more they're going to throw the ball. So,
absolutely,
that was a good question. I get it that Calvin Ridley was probably drafted in the first round, and AJ Brown either the second or the third. So I understand it. If you need that quarterback help, if you're the team getting that quarterback, I love that trade because you're getting a bona fide fantasy starter plus Tyree Hill.
Absolutely.
So now you can lead right into the Bills game.
The Bills are home. The Bills are facing the Texans. The Bills are going to massacre the Texans.
I'm going to give you a fun fact, and then you can tell me more about this.
What's your fun fact?
Which rookie quarterback leads football in completion percentage?
I'm going to go with the Texans quarterback.
But what's his name? Because that's a good answer.
Get on that. 1 second.
Get on that Google. Anyway, we'll move along. So Mr. Davis Mills leads the league in completion percentage. Not Trevor Lawrence, obviously not Zach Wilson or anybody else, but it's the Texans quarterback. Will that be enough to keep them in this game? Absolutely not. Will the Bills cover by 17? The way they looked last week? Absolutely. So I'm a little concerned that the over-under is only 47 in that game when Buffalo put up 40-plus themselves last week. But I think this is a Bills win easily. I think they'll win by 2 scores. I don't know if they'll win by 3, but I'm going to give them the definite victory for the game, which is obvious.
Bears Lions. Which travesty unfolds here?
This is a very hard one to pick because they've all 3 quarterbacks for the Bears have taken first string snaps this week. So who's playing at quarterback? Am I playing at quarterback for them this week? Andy Dalton's got a bruised knee. So he couldn't go last week. So it's bad enough that he couldn't go last week. Justin Fields has a hand injury. And by the looks of their passing game last week, he had a hand injury that whole entire game, clearly. Because they did nothing passing. It seemed like every play all was a run to him, whether it's designed or not. So is their best chance to win this game Nick Foles? He might as well be a kicker, but Nick Foles, who hasn't started the game in Lord knows how long, is he their best option this week? Probably not, but
Super Bowl champion.
He is. And the Lions always find a way to lose, even when they play good. So this is a real tough game. Realistically, it's even, which is sad because the Bears are home. They get 3 points, and the spread is 3. So you can literally flip a coin and pick which team you want in that game. I do feel like I trust the Lions offense more. I don't know. The Lions' offense with the two running backs and Hawkinson, I feel like are a lot more trustworthy than whichever quarterback starts with the Bears. But either way, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if either team won or they tie randomly, just because it's the Bears.
Vikings, Browns. Vikings are home again. Back-to-back home
Okay.
games.
Yeah, well, two teams coming off decisive wins last week. So you tell me who you got in this game. Is Kirk Cousins going to go 30 for 38 again?
Yes, I think the Vikings are going to kill the Browns. Excuse me. I think, especially with there's no travel, and is Dalvin Cook playing this week? Do we know?
It hasn't been confirmed nor denied yet.
Well, you figure if Cook does play, you had him with recovering for the week. You had him maybe taking limited snaps. So if he plays, you're definitely going to have that threat. Like you said, Jeffries has been looking fantastic, and Kirk Cousins did put up a good points. They were just practicing. They're home. They're comfortable. They didn't have to travel. Yeah, the Browns have been looking good as well. They have some nice weapons over there, but I feel like this would be a Vikings type game.
You think the Vikings can stop that dual running back attack that's been hot to start? You shutting down Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna take the Browns in that one. Browns have better D. They should have better offense too. Now here's a game near and dear to your heart.
I
Those
hope.
Panthers.
God,
Are
do
the
I hate the
Panthers staying
fucking.
undefeated?
I hate the Panthers. There's no doubt. Ever since Cam Newton, I hate the fucking Panthers. But let me tell you something. The one great thing about them fucking Cowboys, them boys, they're going to be putting out points. And the question is, with McCaffrey out, can the Panthers stop the onslaught of Zeke, of Lamb? Can they stop them?
Well, I think the real question is, can the Panthers use your cousin in the passing game? Good old Robbie Anderson. Is he gonna? Why is he even on the field if they're not going to use him? Was this the
That is
week?
true. He hasn't been.
Coach did come out and say he was going to get him more involved in anything. So will we see that? Because that might be their only chance.
Because we did see more. Definitely did get more of the receptions.
He certainly did. He had a nice week last week as well.
So, is it this time for Robbie Anderson to show up? Was it a good acquisition getting him from the Jets? I think
Well,
that the
it did look
Cowboys
like
are
it
going to
before that.
murder the Panthers, and that will just bring sweet, sweet love to my face.
Okay,
Because
so with Pete saying that, you know the Panthers are going to win the game.
yeah,
But for your
the Panthers
logical
are going to win
betters,
by
the
30
Cowboys will
fucking
cover
7
the
points.
spread. The Cowboys will cover the spread every game. So just putting that thought out there for you betters. Dolphins,
All right,
Colts. This is the Jacoby Brissett Bowl over here, former Colt, now Dolphin, no Tua. So Dolphins are at home. You like
Dolphins
anybody in
are
this game? Miles Gaskins hasn't done a ton. Will
Tua's
Fuller did play
Tua's on
last
the
week.
IL, as we know.
Yep. Like we said earlier, Carson Wentz gets hit 30 times a game. So if you're a bet man, who are you taking in this one?
I would say it's going to be a tie. Honestly, I think the Colts.
I also, in my pool, took the Colts, so we're
I
on the
think
same
they
page
have
there.
not like it's going to be a blowout, but I feel like the Colts do have a better chance. I did see an article a couple of days ago about good old Taylor and saying that is he really going to show up anytime soon?
He is the number one running back on stardom or sit him for stardom. So everybody is expecting him to just show up this week. So this has got to be that week.
So I will be playing him if that wasn't a fucking surprise.
Oh, you're going to play your first round pick in fantasy? What a genius
Yeah,
idea.
right? I know, I'm saying. Chiefs, Eagles. Eagles are home. Chiefs haven't been looking good. Mahomes' magic is gone.
Is it? That's actually the real question. He was undefeated coming in this year in September, and this year he's taken two L's and thrown some questionable interceptions.
And like you said earlier with Tyree and him fumbling, what's going on over there?
Their whole offense has been a turnover machine. I do think this is the Eagles' defense gets the Chiefs back on track, though. So
So you
Chiefs'
think
defense
Chiefs all the
is
way?
great. What happened?
You think Chiefs all the way?
Yeah, I think so. Jalen Hurts, like I said, played really good against the Falcons and fairly questionable against everybody else. The Eagles need to run the ball. They literally ran the ball 3 times with running backs last week, which will take some pressure off Hurts. And you got to keep Mahomes on the sidelines. But if you can't move the chains, you can't keep Mahomes on the sidelines. And as seen, and it's still a thing, is the Chiefs can go down the field in one play. The Eagles don't have that.
100%. These next 6 games, sir. I can't wait for all. I am so excited for all these games.
Well, the next two are very interesting. So
let's start with the Rams, Cardinals. Sweet
go ahead.
Jesus. You have the undefeated Rams. You got
Mm-hmm.
Stafford really coming off a great fucking win. And now you have the young, hungry, best quarterback, in my opinion, Kyler Murray.
But you didn't draft him in fantasy?
I did not know.
Oh.
I am very happy with my quarterback.
Guess he's not the best quarterback then because he was only like the fourth or fifth one.
I didn't expect Mahomes to lose 2 in September. That's all I know.
You didn't bother to take him. But anyway.
Now, my question to you, sir, is the Rams are home, and that's why, as much as it pains me to say, I feel like the Rams will win this game.
I do too. Darrell Henderson's supposed to play. Probably won't get all the snaps like he normally does. But that's big for the Rams. Worst case is that opens up their pass game even more that they don't need.
Cooper Kupp
The
has been looking sensational these last few weeks.
He certainly is. The Rams' defense is better than the Cardinals, so.
I mean, you might have a couple big plays from the Cardinals, but I definitely feel like the Rams will be the one to win this game.
That's what it's going to take. DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a game. Can his supporting cast do anything? The running backs haven't been great. Connor was pretty good last week, but running backs haven't been great. AJ Green's 100 years old. So.
God, back in the day when he was a top receiver.
Yep. And then we had another game in the same division right behind them, 49ers Seahawks. You get the whole NFC West right there. 49ers favorite.
And
Seahawks didn't look great.
No, they
against
did
the
not.
Vikings. 49ers should be better than the Vikings, so you would think.
This is Russell Wilson's comeback game.
Yeah.
I believe that it's going to be Russell. I expect a 30-point game from Russell Wilson this week. Call me crazy. I know people will. But I feel like this is a matchup where Seattle's got to show. There's been, I believe, I could pull it up on my phone, but Pete Carroll was like talking, and he's like, no, we're like, we will be like the Seahawks. We are the Seahawks. Bullshit. I think it's definitely going to come down to, are we going to see Lockett have a big game? Are we going to see Metcalf have a good game? What about Chris Carson? Like, how are you going to use the weapons? I think Russell Wilson is definitely going to be more hungry for this game because their record right now is 1-2 or 2-1.
Seattle, I believe, is 1-2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 1-2. So they want to get back into it, and obviously with facing the Rams, who have been absolutely insane, and the Cardinals, who has that young, fresh Kyler Murray, and having that game being played, I think it's a good way for the Seahawks to face off against the 49ers, get that jump so they're still in the talks of, hey, let's not forget about the Seahawks. The Seahawks lose this game, you could forget them about making the playoffs. I think that if Seattle loses this game, they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think then they're going to have a I don't think their record will be in the positive. I think we'll be under 500, honestly, if they don't win this game. It is a must win for Seattle.
Fair enough. The defense needs to show up.
That is fair also. Broncos, Ravens. Broncos are home. Broncos are undefeated.
Broncos also the number one ranked defense right now. Doesn't hurt playing the Jets, but
That is but Justin Tucker coming off a big game. Obviously, we know that kickers are not going to put up the fantasy points or the points, but
yeah, but they're in Denver, so if he can make it 66 without the altitude, should
Just
be good for a
imagine.
couple long ones. Now, here's the concern: is Lamar has a shoulder injury. No, last week it was his hip. This week it's his shoulder. Can you trust him to lead the Ravens to another victory?
You have to.
You have to. You think so?
Yeah.
I think with a banged up shoulder, he might not run as much. Maybe they'll actually use a running back who leads running backs in yards per attempt. Yeah, maybe.
I
Crazy
think this will
thoughts.
be a first half game. I think if the Ravens put on a performance in the first half, they could theoretically win this game. But if they are not showing up in the first half, it will be Broncos all the way.
So what if the game's tied at half? You get the Broncos winning then?
I would say yes. If you're
Okay.
saying maybe 14-14, 17-17, I see the Broncos coming out. But if we're going into half and the Ravens are up by 10 and it's 24-14, I don't see why the Ravens should lose. And I see that it's all about, like you said, protecting Lamar. He may not run as much. You can use the running backs. Make sure you have to protect Lamar Jackson.
So let's dumb it down. 13-10 Ravens at half. Are they hanging on? I mean, most teams can hold a 10-point lead except for the New York teams.
If Broncos are up by 3 to the Ravens, I mean, if the Ravens are up by 3 at half, do they keep it?
Mm-hmm.
Show me the first play of the third quarter, and we'll talk.
Oh, now we're gonna do that.
No,
Yes, of course.
If we're going in and they're up and they get the ball first, 100%, I feel like the Ravens will keep that momentum. But I feel like if they come out of second half and the Broncos do have the game, it's inevitable.
All right. Let's
Packers,
see what you got.
Steelers. Packers are home. I think the Packers are going to dominate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as we're seeing, the Steelers are not the Steelers of old, so
that's what I'm saying. And the Packers had a rough start by getting massacred by the Saints. I just want to put that out there.
Yep, but the Saints came back to the earth. But anyway, moving along.
Oh, we have Jesus Christ.
It's good to know.
Yeah, right.
Moving along.
Moving right along.
Let's see what my questions were while you're loading into the next game.
We got Bucks, Patriots. Patriots are home. It is Brady's return to Foxborough. My first question, sir.
Good, I'm ready.
Are they going to embrace Brady or hate him?
Oh, they'll embrace Brady. He literally won them multiple Super Bowls. You can't. What are you going to throw those 20 years away?
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think they'll wait. I think that they will definitely embrace him because at the end of the day, it wasn't Brady's fault for leaving. The man wanted money, and New England should have paid him. New England didn't pay him. He's going to go to another team. I think the loyalty is there. I'm curious with Gronk, though, because, Gronk retired and then basically waited, and then Brady played his year in New England and then went to Tampa, and, surprisingly, Gronk came back.
Mm-hmm.
I might see maybe Gronk I'm not going to say get a huge hate, but it will definitely be a Brady love fest. But I could see a couple knocks at Gronk. That's just me personally, I feel. I definitely think the Bucks are going to win this game. If that wasn't a shadow of a doubt.
Should be.
What?
That should be a slam dunk.
I think it
Unless
will be his homecoming of a massacre because
unless Brady's got his helmet on backwards, I'm pretty sure he could beat his former team.
100%. So all positivity with Brady's return, I say. We'll go to Monday night, and then you can ask me those questions you want.
Yeah.
Chargers, Raiders. Do the Raiders stay undefeated?
Are you asking me, or are you asking?
Yeah, I'm
in
asking.
general?
The Chargers are home, but do the Raiders, who have
No, I don't think the Raiders defense can hang with the Chargers offense, and that's what's. I mean, the Raiders offense has been able to hang with anybody so far, but in that sense, you would think that it could be a close game. But at some point, the Chargers, who have some players on defense, might be able to stop them. So I don't know if the Raiders can stop them at all, and that'll be the difference in the game.
that is very, so you feel like it's going to be a Chargers win here?
Yes, they have the weapons. So I think they'll get it done. Everybody's,
do the Las Vegas Raiders fall apart after this game? Do they become the 4-7 team that they were destined to be this year?
I'd have to see the rest of their schedule, but I don't think they'll fall apart. But I think they'll be, a normal right around 500, either game under, game over, with the extra game this year. So I don't see them being, they're in first right now, but they're not better. Realistically, they're not better than Chiefs. They're not better than the Chargers. They might not be better than the Broncos. So
that's fair. So those are your games for week 4. Now we have my favorite section of this is Joey questions. So,
well, let's go with the awesome one we got in the group chat, which was, do you trade Hubbard, Gaskins, and McCaffrey for Kareem Hunt and Kamara? So I want to know your thoughts on this.
So, all right. So we have Gaskins.
Realistically, it's Gaskins and McCaffrey for when he comes back, for Hunt and Kamara. So you're trading the number 1 running back in football.
No.
And Myles Gaskins for the number 3 running back in Kareem Hunt.
I would not do that trade. I think McCaffrey, as much as a Saints fan that I am, we had this. We touched on this a little bit before. 3.5 yards for Kamara. Not looking great, buddy. You're right now the only fucking person on the team, because Cowboys not showing up. Nobody's really showing up on that team. And I think it's something where when McCaffrey comes back, even when McCaffrey comes back, McCaffrey puts up points. And Kareem Hunt could break out at being better than Nick Chubb. That's just realistic. I don't think the trade is worth it. I think that
he's still right there with him. So
I still don't believe it would be a trade that I would be doing. If I had McCaffrey, I would not be trading with McCaffrey. My personal thoughts. I think that it's not worth it. Didn't expect that answer, did you?
I don't think either part is. I'm not sure I would change what I need, because I'd rather have, assuming Kamara does anything, I'd rather have Kamara and Hunt. So Myles Gaskins. So really, it's McCaffrey for Hunt and Kamara, and that answer is no. If I'm getting Hunt and Kamara, sure, then I think I would do that. But so you're getting realistically what it is the Panthers running back and Gaskin, which isn't even close, because Kamara could hang with McCaffrey, on a week-to-week basis. Myles Gaskins isn't hanging with Kareem Hunt right now.
That's a fair argument. I still stand by. I would not trade McCaffrey. If I had McCaffrey, I wouldn't make that trade.
If it was a 1-for-1 where it was McCaffrey for Kamara, of course not, even though McCaffrey's hurt. But You throw in Kareem Hunt in there, the numbers don't make sense.
Still time to see what good old Gaskin does.
Of course, but we're 3 weeks in at this point. You're probably going to be what you're going to be.
So you're saying I should trade all Saquon Barkley as soon as possible? You heard it here, folks.
Probably, if you can get something for him, I would be jumping through hoops for that one. So let's wind it down a little bit. So we're 50 minutes in. You got a sleeper for this week? Enlighten me.
So let's bring this bad boy back up. Sleepers for the games. If I would have to say who you should play this week. Hawkinson. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Is that your go-to guy? When you're doing DFS, you're gonna
I'm
grab
taking Hawkinson. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's right now one of the Lions' best receivers, even though he's a tight end. But he puts up points. He's not talked about as one of the better tight ends. And against the Bears, who have not been looking so fucking hot, I think that if you can pick him up or if you have him, he is definitely the must play of the week, in my personal opinion.
Do you want me to break your heart?
Absolutely.
My sleeper for the week is a Colts running back. It's not Jonathan Taylor. Nyheim Hines, I think, is going to have a big week. I know Taylor's a little banged up. I'm not worried about that part. But Hines has been doing his thing. And in this game, it could just be the week where he just breaks a big, screen pass and just takes it to the house. I think Hines is going to be your guy for this week.
Shout out to Callaway.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it because obviously Saints bias, but I feel like maybe he, against the Giants, I think he might get some more targets. I don't think he'll put a monster game, but I could definitely see a nice 12 to 14-point game for this man.
Well, I'm going to give you a point, and then I'm going to give you a question. Giants have Bradbury. He's actually not terrible at corner.
Mm-hmm.
So if he shuts down Callaway this week, are you cutting bait? Is it time to get rid of Callaway and just say the Saints offense is nothing and wait for Michael Thomas to return?
I mean, if we look here quickly, and I'm just going to look at my league just for a moment. I want to see in Yahoo how many people actually have this. 36% of people have Callaway right now.
Yep.
I believe it started with about 87 or something. Not 100%. I'm not saying he was going to be great. But in his game log, he had a great week against New England with 12 points. But his first two projections were double digits. And these past 2 weeks have been single. Obviously, he got the double digit last week. But I think that if you play Callaway and he doesn't do anything, you have Washington coming up on week 5, and then you have a bye, and by week 7 you should be seeing Michael Thomas coming back.
But does Michael Thomas coming back help him?
Is he coming back healthy? Absolutely.
Yeah, but as I'm saying, will that open up targets for him all of a sudden? I mean, you're holding on to the Saints tight end in ESPN, so obviously you must be very high on him. Oh, you finally dropped him. Look at you.
I did. I picked up who the fuck did I pick up? I want to say Singletary, but I'm not really sure.
That might be very painful for you to have made such a drastic move.
We'll see. I mean, you never know. I like my quarterback of Jared Cook because I believe I picked up Jared Cook for this. I don't know. It says Mark Andrews, which I know I didn't pick up Mark Andrews on the waivers. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you never know the way these leagues are going.
Yeah, absolutely. Just play ESPN. That's the thing. If you take anything away from this podcast, you better best believe that you should just play Yahoo. Shout out to NFL. I don't mind an NFL, but ESPN makes me mad.
It's definitely the worst one. But
100%.
you
We've
got
been
anything
talking
else
for
for me?
55 minutes.
Yep.
Good sweet Jesus. Game starts in an hour. Any final thoughts for you, Joe, or any other questions you got?
No, I'm questioned out. Ready for some football.
I am dying for some football.
Oh,
I
well,
hope
it's
you
been
guys are too.
2 weeks since you've seen some, so
It's been you don't think I'm gonna be watching? I
probably
can actually
not.
watch the Saints game.
Oh, you could, but you won't. You
Watch
might
me.
have to. You might have to buy, something else that day. So anyway,
You'll be probably like a little mini TV. It's gonna be great. But thank you all for watching and for the comments. This is every Thursday. We do a nice little fantasy podcast. Me and Joe facing each other in 2 weeks. So you best believe that next week you're gonna want to watch because there's gonna be some hella shit talking. Whoever wins.
that is probably a fact.
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment. Let us know any other questions you might have coming up for Fantasy Week.
Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new.
We
Comment.
got wonderful feedback on Joey's end. I like the video. Also, I got some videos coming up, whether it be Kenna review, Kana Bridges Spears. I'm going to be doing a review on shortly. Also, I'm going to be doing a let's play of Little Nightmares too. If you're getting ready for that October feel, stay tuned.
I think so.
Because it's
You
going
might
to be
have some free time on your hands soon to do these
try
things.
some fun stuff on that. So if you're a big fan of gaming, you should also subscribe. Always, Joey, my co-host, rocking it down.
Thank you, sir.
About to watch some football. So we'll see you guys next week for some more fun.
Yes. Later.